Many games in today's time have a core theme that represents what the setting and the world of the game is right from the jump. We think about what defines the game, and typically we can judge from the beginning what the story is, what the journey entails, and what our goal is. And while that may appeal to the masses, FromSoftware always chooses to go a different route with their games, in giving us a taste of what lies ahead at the beginning, but always seeking to throw in a shock of transition into something we couldn't even imagine. I believe Dark Souls 1 does this in a phenomenal way. In a way that most players don't even realize until later on. In a way that can be avoided, but in a way that if noticed, offers a great reward to those that choose to devote time to exploration. Today's video is going to be the first in a series analyzing the many different areas across the Souls games and what I believe makes them special. So then, if you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing, and let's get started. The first area we're going to take a look at today is Darkroot Garden, and why I believe it is the perfect transition area in Dark Souls 1. From the start of Dark Souls, we are introduced to things such as undead, demons, and giant animals, but it always seems contained in the world and fitting to the setting. Things change, however, when we make our way into the depths of the undead parish and seek to explore past our friendly blacksmith, and after defeating the giant titanite demon, we get into something out of the ordinary, something almost magical. Darkroot Garden is introduced in a way that doesn't quite feel right. As we journey through the undead parish, past many dead things that feel reminiscent of what once was, we find things that feel alive and still involved in the world. The grassy creatures that we battle at first seem to be the living residents of the environment. They're corrupted yet proper. It creates a serene feeling of mystique, as if many secrets lie in these woods. As we continue to explore, we may not notice the path branching off on the right which leads to the basin, and for now, we'll continue through the garden. So far in the game, we've not been introduced to the concepts of magic or arcane arts. The world that we've known so far has been one of stone and steel, and so the ethereal feeling and flood of moonlight makes us feel oddly uncertain. At the end of our trail lies a great mystery. A giant door sealed by light and locked by some contraption. The player is unaware of what it could mean and searches for messages on the ground telling them about something hidden, an illusion. This is the first time in the game we're introduced to an illusory wall, a sign that reality isn't what we believe it to be, and that the world is far more expansive than even our eyes let on. So we continue exploring. As we walk further down through the fog, we encounter a giant suit of armor lying in the mossy dirt. A stone guardian brought back to life by an unseen magic. The tough enemy is initially non-hostile, until we encroach on its territory, that is. Though the combat is tough, we might feel as though we're the aggressor and not the victim in the situation, because we can clearly see who belongs here. As we further explore the area, a watchful eye may notice some secrets. A tree moving at its roots, another hidden path, and another sign that reality is not what our eyes lead us to believe. Continuing to move forward leads us to the first boss of the area, the Moonlight Butterfly. This boss is special. It's the first one that does not start out with a harsh and foreboding music piercing the ears of the player, causing the stress to rise, but instead a calm, serene, and graceful voice provides the ambience of touching moonlight. It once again causes us to feel as if we're the aggressor and not the victim. And that is the theme of Darkroot Garden. It's the feeling as if we should not be there, the feeling of the unknown and the mystique, as if we are disturbing a serene place of reverence untouched by the outside world, causing us to raise the question of how many more secrets like this are in this game, and how many have we missed on our journey so far. Darkroot Garden reaches its peak when we finally buy the crest of Artorias and make our way further still. We continue to delve into this forest and we find countless NPC enemies, or so we're led to believe. Even though they're hostile, it still feels like we're encroaching on someone else's territory. And on a side note, this area back in the height of Dark Souls 1 really felt like a war ground. The PvP was at its height and there was always a battle taking place, and it was honestly so much fun. But this is where we also meet the first truly friendly NPC of the area, Alvina the cat. She tells us that the forest is a tranquil place, not meant to be disturbed, and we realize we have done just that, disturbed it. Though we can atone for our sins by joining the Covenant, making the NPCs of the area non-hostile. However, if the player is curious enough and chooses to delve even deeper into the forest mysteries, they'll discover the true reason for the serenity and what truly was meant to be undisturbed. The grave of Artorias, a hero mentioned in Fable if the player listens closely, is centered in a clearing with the giant sword of the hero stabbed into the ground. When we decide to get a closer look, the noble hound Sif takes up the sword to defend the grave from our defilement. This fight is legendary. It's one of the most notable fights in gaming as a whole. It truly cements the idea that the player should not be there, that we've committed a sin by entering the area, and unbeknownst to us, us, that list of sins is going to continue to grow. As we battle against Sif, the end of the fight strikes a chord. After we deal enough damage, Sif begins to limp, and even though he's injured, he still continues to fight. It capitalizes the fact that we should not have been there and that we're the trespassers rather than the victim. So as we can see, Darkroot Garden is a beautiful example of environmental storytelling that presents a shocking change to the player in Dark Souls. It drastically changes the feeling that we're the hero purifying a broken world, but rather that we're the curse on the world itself that should not be. Darkroot Garden really contains everything I love about an area in Dark Souls. It has numerous secrets, good bosses, environmental storytelling, good loot, and shortcuts to several different areas in the game. And this doesn't even account for Darkroot Basin, which helps add to all of these other aspects, but perhaps I'll save that for another video. So I hope this video made you appreciate Darkroot Garden a little bit more. I really feel like it does everything right that a Dark Souls area should do, and that it's placed at just the right time in the game. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. As I said before, this is the first video in a series that I'm starting, where we're going to be breaking down many of the different areas across the Souls games. So if you enjoyed this, let me know by leaving a like down below, and what area you'd like to see next. And I'm not sure exactly how often these are going to be put out because we still have stuff to talk about with Elden Ring, and obviously any news that comes out is going to take priority. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you in the next one.